Chelsea have been given a colossal harm boost ahead of their Chief Association clash against Brighton this end of the week. Christopher Nkunku and Romeo Lavia have both been spotted taking part in to begin with group preparing this week for the primary time since supporting wounds. Not one or the other Nkunku or Lavia have made a competitive appearance for the Blues so distant this season after completing summer moves to Stamford Bridge. The previous has been sidelined since imminent with a knee damage, while the last mentioned endured a setback in his recuperation as he maintained a lower leg harm prior this season. After months of recovery, Nkunku and Lavia have returned to first team preparing at Cobham, and they'll be trusting for many minutes against Brighton this end of the week. Ahead of Chelsea's clash amusement, Mauricio Pochettino was inquired if Nkunku and Lavia will be ready for the end of the week. "We got to evaluate tomorrow, and after that choose." Chelsea fans seem presently at long last have the chance to see Nkunku and Lavia in activity for the primary time at Stamford Bridge this end of the week. The Blues will be trusting to return to winning ways taking after the disappointing execution against Newcastle final end of the week. To the dissatisfaction of numerous Daydream Chief Alliance supervisors, it's exceptionally impossible that Nkunku will begin against Brighton, but there's a great chance he will come off the seat as he proceeds to construct up his wellness and sharpness after such a lengthy layoff. Pochettino will be watchful of surging the Frenchman back into activity in spite of Chelsea's conflicting comes about of late. Osimhen has long been Chelsea's top striker target, but the Blues began to explore other targets last summer when it appeared as though the Nigeria international would sign a new contract in Naples. Ivan Toney, Santiago Jimenez, and Lautaro Martinez were among those being tracked. Since then, however, issues have arisen in Osimhen's negotiations with Napoli, and sources have confirmed to 90 Minutes that there is little chance he will agree to an extension despite his club's ongoing efforts. That has given Chelsea hope that a move for Osimhen in 2024 is a serious possibility, and while a summer transfer remains the most likely outcome, 90 Minutes understands the Blues are ready to test Napoli's resolve sooner with a January bid. Chelsea are well aware that they may need to break their transfer record to land 24-year-old Osimhen, whose price tag is expected to exceed the £115 million paid to sign Moises Caicedo from Brighton and Hove Albion this past summer. While Napoli remain keen to keep Osimhen, they may be forced to listen to interest as the striker enters the final 18 months of his contract. Chelsea are also among the sides to have scouted Osimhen's Napoli teammate Kvaratskhelia, who is in talks over his own contract extension. Napoli are adamant they will not lose their two top assets in the same year, with Osimhen the more likely to be granted an exit from Stadio Diego Armando Maradona in 2024. Napoli's financial demands will obviously impact Chelsea's next move, as the free-spending Blues may need to raise funds through player sales before pulling the trigger on any new signings. Center-back Trevoh Chalobah is available for transfer, and Chelsea could also part ways with fullback Ian Maatsen, who is approaching the final 18 months of his own contract and is yet to ink an extension. Previous Paris Saint-Germain captain Thiago Silva is nearing the conclusion of his career. Moreover, his contract with Chelsea lapses after the 2023-24 season. As a result, he'll ended up a free specialist. Silva still appears that he can play in spite of being 39, a long-time ancient. Seeing PSG conceivably offer him a one-year contract to return and have a legitimate send-off after clearing out in 2020 amid the COVID-19 widespread. CBS Sports' Jonathan Johnson weighed in on the plausibility that the experienced Shield team return. The PSG chapter wasn't closed legitimately, and could be something Silva needs to do some time recently clearing out European football. In spite of the fact that he proceeds to play routinely for Chelsea, Thiago Silva's future remains beneath the highlight as he heads towards the conclusion of his contract, whereas he'll too turn 40 following season, Johnson composed in his caught offside column. Silva had a few awesome a long time with PSG, which he looks back affectionately on, but in terms of a conceivable return one day after retirement, I think one deterrent may well be the way of his takeoff. It came at an unbalanced time, of course, due to the effect of COVID on the football world. It was the same with Edinson Cavani at that time as well, two gigantically prevalent figures, two faithful and long-serving players, but who didn't get to say a legitimate farewell. According to Sky Germany reporter Florian Plettenberg, Leverkusen expect Jeremy Frimpong to depart at the end of the season. The journalist shared the information on X and also claimed that the player is keen on a transfer and has a €40 million, £34.7 million, release clause for the summer. Chelsea are one club who have been linked with a move for Frimpong. Earlier this month, Depay claimed that both the Blues and their Premier League rivals Liverpool were in the race for the right-back signature. When Reece James is fit and available, then no. The England international is one of the best right-backs in the Premier League. His last outing against Newcastle United was obviously not his best after he was sent off, something his manager Mauricio Pochettino was not happy about. But generally, James does not let Chelsea down and is an automatic starter when he is not carrying an injury. However, that is the thing. The 23-year-old has struggled to stay fit in recent seasons, so perhaps there could be an opportunity for Frimpong to come in and actually get game time in the right-back position. Given that Chelsea do have James, though, while Malo Gusto and Marc Cucurella are also capable of covering the Blues' right-back, Frimpong probably does not have to be a priority for the club next summer. Rather, what they need to be focusing on is a striker if they cannot land one in January. It is one of the weaker areas in their squad, and there is now talk about Napoli's Victor Osimhen coming in to help them out there. That has to take precedence over signing a new right-back. Romeo Lavia has issued an harm upgrade on social media ahead of Chelsea's clash against Tottenham. The 19-year-old midfielder, who joined the Blues from Southampton late into the summer exchange window, has been nursing and lower leg issues since he arrived at Stamford Bridge, and he's still, however, to indeed make a big appearance. Concurring to far-reaching reports final month, Lavia was managed a major difficulty on his street to recuperation, pushing his return date back to late November. It's said that the Belgian Universal started his recovery program at Cobham preparing ground at the beginning of October, after he was able to require off his defensive boot. The Mail Online afterward claimed that a return this month is seen as optimistic, with the West Londoners cautious of surging him back ahead of plan. In truth, after Chelsea's win over Burnley Fair some time recently the Universal break, Mauricio Pochettino implied that the young person faces an expanded period on the sidelines. Fair days, afterward on December, the West Londoners confront Manchester joined together at ancient Trafford, so Pochettino will be frantic to welcome Lavia back for the extreme run of installations on the skyline. Once the youngster is back in activity, the Blues boss will be trusting that his sharp passing can offer assistance the forward players discover the back of the net. Ahead of Chelsea's assembly with Tottenham, Pochettino said, "You'll be able to work each day and spend a part of time. You'll work, but progressing is around your certainty and your sentiments.